Hi everyone, and welcome to another Boss Girl Budgets. Today I am super excited because we are going to do a budget for a client of mine. So I'm really excited. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get started. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Lili and I am a Australian cash stuffer and zero-based budgeter. I have been doing this for a little while. Disclaimer right now, I'm not a professional. Everything that I'm going to talk about in today's video, it is just from my own experiences and from what I have learnt in this journey. And I am sharing it with you today because I don't do a lot of videos that you can learn from, and that is what I wanted to do a lot more of in 2025. I haven't got around to it because I have been traveling and so on and so forth. It's been a busy year, but this is the first one in the series. So let me know if this is something that you are interested in. If it is, please hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you as part of the Boss Girl family. There is quite a few of us now, which is really good. So what we're going to do first is, of course, coffee time. You know how much I love my coffee, and today is absolutely no exception because it is Monday. I am also in a little bit of a hurry today because I've had quite a few orders over the weekend, so I've got to get all of them ready, packed, and off to all of you. I've also got a lot of designing and things to do because I've got a whole bunch of new products coming, which I'm really excited about. I've got some wallets and binders that I have taken a gamble on and just gone and ordered. It's really scary for me because my small business is growing, but hasn't grown enough that I can just plow into things that I want to do. I have to be really strategic about, I guess every business is kind of like that anyway. But I have ordered a whole bunch of wallets, purses. They're all coming, I hope, by July. Fingers crossed, they should be here by July. I'm also working on the 2025 Advent box. Last year was a huge success, so I'm going to do it again this year. There will be more available this time, and I think I'm going to do some pre-orders as well, so stay tuned for that. I will announce it when I'm all ready to go. But anyway, so for today's video, we are going to sit down together and put together a budget for somebody that has asked me to do it for her. Now, this person is on a pension, so they only get Centrelink money. They get paid every fortnight, and they have given me a list of everything that they pay for. So we're going to have a quick look at that because I really wanted to do this because a lot of you, I get asked a lot on my Instagram and on YouTube how I do my budget. My budget is a little bit funny at the moment because I am not working. I'm only doing Boss Girl budgets. So this obviously isn't a good one to go on to show you. So instead of using my budget, I am using a friend's budget. Now, this person is really lucky because they have got solar electricity and solar hot water, so their bills are quite down. Let's just have a look because it's just going to be easier for me to do it from my sheets. So this is all of the notes that they have given me, so I'm kind of going off of this. I've written it up a little bit neater, so that is good. So this is what I'm kind of going on, but basically, let's start at the start. So with their pension, they are getting $29,874 a year. Everything they've written down on this sheet is based on a year. So they're giving me their annual bills. which is good. So we're starting from that. So we know that they're getting $29,874 a year. And then they have given me these bills. So we have got their rates. Now, another thing to note with this person is that they have paid their mortgage already. So their mortgage is all paid. They're not paying any rent or anything like that, which is great. That means we've got more money to play with. So rates is done. Electricity is $2,000. Gas is $600. Water is $1,300. Emergency services levy, they've got $60. $1,300 for insurance. $250 for their car insurance. Rego is $530. RAA is $200. Phone is $200. Wi-Fi is $900. Spotify $180, and ambulance cover $60. So they are on a pension, so they are older, and they do have some what's the word I'm thinking of? They have some discounts because of that. They also, with their phone, they use a service. I can't remember for the life of me what she said the service was called. Kogan? I think it's Kogan. I'm going to write it down. If it's wrong, I will write it down below. But they use a yearly, I don't know if it's a subscription. I think it's just a yearly payment. They pay $200 and that gives them all the data that they need. They're really happy with this one. So that is why that is cheaper. It is a really good option because I know Telstra, Optus, all of those ones are quite expensive. This works for her. I don't know if the service is good or anything like that, but for her, she's happy with it. And it does help me work out her budget because that is a good price. And then obviously, like I said before, electricity and water, she's got solar. So that is why that is quite a lot cheaper. And let's have a look. So, all right. So that's all of her bills. That's her main bills that she's given me. She's then got her weekly things written down here, which is just food, petrol, and spending. That's great. Not too crazy. She doesn't really go out for coffees and all that kind of stuff. So really simple. Now, this list here is everything else that she pays for. Now, I'm really happy with this because normally when I help someone do their budget, I ask them to give me what their budget is and like what their expenses are and how they want me to go with it. But they normally give me like a list of their bills, their rent, and that's kind of it. And it's really important to, when you're doing your own budget, to really sit down and don't just write what you think are expenses. Be realistic. Like, what do you pay for all the time? Like, in your entire year, what are you paying for? And I mean everything. Like, you need to write everything down. And that is what this lovely lady has done. So, repairs and maintenance on her house. She doesn't really pay them at the moment, but she knows that she needs to. So she's written that down. Her gardener, she has someone that comes around and does her garden. They don't do it very often, just when she feels the need, but she would like to do that more often. Birthdays, Christmas, and Easter. Obviously, every year these are going to come up, so you want to be prepared for them. So that's great. She has got birthdays, Christmas, and Easter, but they're obviously important to her. If you wanted to go crazy scale, you could include things like Halloween, New Year's, Valentine's Day, like all those kinds of things, anniversaries. Then she's got pets. So her pets, she has got cats and she has got fish. So nothing too crazy. She doesn't have vet insurance. So we're going to put some money together for her there. And then obviously food is going to be a big one, especially with the cats. She, being an older person. She has got quite a lot of prescriptions that she needs to pay for, and that is fairly regular. So she's written that down. That is around about $70 a month. Doctor and dentist, you obviously always want to have a medical fund somewhere. She doesn't need to see these people all the time, so she doesn't really have any backup to cover that. If she did need to go to the dentist, it would be out of her pocket, and she wouldn't have that available, so we're going to include that in her budget. Her hairdressing appointments, she roughly goes every 10 to 12 weeks, and that costs her about $60, so we're going to put that in there. Clothing, obviously, she doesn't buy a lot, but it does still need to be accounted for. And then she's got a few things that she pays for regularly, so that is Tai Chi, physio, podiatry. Tai Chi and physio are every week, so Tai Chi is $15 a week for her, and physio is $25 a week, and then podiatry is every 8 weeks, so that is $30 every 8 weeks. And then I've asked her to write down her hobbies, because sometimes we have things like, I mean, for her, she's got gardening and art. Now, she's going to need supplies for that, and that is something that is not regular. It's just something that one day she will be doing something and she might need some more paint, or one day she'll be doing something else and she wants to get some I don't know, ceramic pottery mix. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but whatever it is, you want to put a little bit of money away. For me, you will have seen in my budget binders that I like to crochet. So if I need to get supplies for crocheting or reading, I like reading. So if I want to get some books, I have that accounted for in my budget binder, and that is what you would need to write down, because although it's not an expense to you naturally, it will be an expense at some point in time. If your hobby is shopping and you like just going shopping and you put some money away for shopping sprees, that's fine. If your hobby is drinking coffee and going out for brunch, you want to put that away as well. So keep all of this stuff in mind when you're sorting out your budget. And then she's also got a subscription for Who Gives a Crap, which is a toilet paper subscription. I think they do toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, that kind of thing, and it just gets delivered straight to her door. She'd like to keep that, so we've written that down there. She hasn't written it as part of her bills, but I'm going to put it as part of her bills because that is a regular payment. And then just down here, I've written a suggestion because she hasn't written in here any personal items, self-care, beauty items, that kind of thing. I'm just going to recommend that she does add that as a sinking fund, because, I mean, she might have put that as part of her grocery budget. I don't know. So I'm just going to write that down as a suggestion. If she needs to add it, she can add it. If not, just put it as part of her groceries if that's what she's doing. But I do know in my case, I don't buy it as part of my groceries during the week. So I have a beauty fund that you would have all seen me cash stuff over the years. And that pays for my, like, getting my nails done, getting my hair done, getting all those personal hygiene items. My husband also has his own self-care fund for all his personal items, like shaving kits and all that kind of thing. So because she hasn't written it, I'm just suggesting it because that's the only other thing I can think of that she would probably need. She might find later down the track that she's found other things. But for now, that's all she requires. Okay, now we need to go through. I've got my budget breakdown here, which is what I use for my budget breakdown. And I've also got my calculator here because we're going to have to do some sums because this is all annual. Now, because she's getting paid with Centrelink, she's getting paid fortnightly. So we need to work out what all of these payments are fortnightly. If you were getting paid weekly, you could work it out weekly. If you were getting paid monthly, you could work it out monthly. We're going to do fortnightly because that's when she's getting paid, and that makes the most sense to me. Right, we're going to need some more paper, I think. Actually, no, we'll just write on this. Okay. So let's work out what all these payments are fortnightly. That's probably going to be the first thing I would sit down and do. So now we've got it all written down. We know roughly what she is paying for and how much. So rates, $2,000, and there's going to be how many fortnights in a year? 26? Yes, 26. Right, so we've got 26 fortnights. I'm just going to write that down because I will forget, because that's what I do. I forget everything. Right, so 2,000 divided by 26. So that is 70, let's go $77, which means electricity is going to be the same. Gas, 600, and we're dividing that by 26, so that is 23. Water, it's $50. I hope this is making sense to you. So basically, if you were getting paid monthly, you'd be dividing this by the 12 months. If you were getting paid weekly, you'd be dividing this by the 52 weeks. 60 divided by 26 is $2.30. Right, I'm going to speed this up and write this all down because you probably don't want to sit and watch me do this. Okay, so now we're coming up to the weekly. Now she did give me some notes over here. So her food, she does around $100 a week. So I'm just going to write 200 there because that is weekly. Petrol, she doesn't do much driving. So her last couple of years she's done 400. So we're going to divide that by 26. So she's probably doing about $15 to $20. So about $20 a fortnight. But I'm going to leave it at that because we probably could go a bit more, but that's okay. She doesn't do a lot of driving, so I'm just going to leave it at 20 and we'll see how she feels about that. Spending money, this is something that we're going to work out later. I like to always let someone have a little bit of change in their purse. It can be for spending or just miscellaneous just to have on hand, but I don't know what that will be until we work out what we're working with as to what she can afford every week. So let's now have a look at these ones here. Now, what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to move the who gives a crap. I'm going to move that to the bills section. So, and that is $360 per year. So 360 divided by, what did I say? 26. So we're going to go $14 a fortnight. So I'm going to remove that. Now, these ones here, now because she's paying the Tai Chi and the physio every week, I'm going to move them to the weekly expenses. So with her food, petrol and spending. So we're going to go Tai Chi and physio. And we're going to make them fortnightly. So $30 for Tai Chi and $50 for physio. I think I've got that right. Yes. So I'm going to cross them out now. Podiatry, that's every 8 weeks. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to leave that as a sinking fund. And then hobbies, I'm going to leave that as a sinking fund. Clothing, sinking fund. Hairdresser, that's every 10 to 12 weeks. So I'm going to keep that as a sinking fund. Dentist and doctor, I'm going to combine those two and do a medical sinking fund so that it covers both of them. Now, the chemist is $70 a month. And that is something that she is, one, always going to need. And it's a regular payment. So we're going to put that into her bills. So we're going to go, I'm going to put it up here. We're going to go chemist. And it's $70 a month. So she's going to need two $35 payments with the fortnights, so we can cross that one off. Now, pets, I'm going to split up into two things because she has got her pet food, which she purchases weekly, and then she has she wants to have money available for the vet and money available for pet accessories. So toys and all that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is the food I'm going to do as weekly. So we're going to do pet food, and she can do that when she's doing her grocery shopping. So let's go, what's written on here? So she says that she's doing about $3,000 a year in pet food. So let's divide that by 26. Whoops. 3,000 divided by 26. So that is $115 a fortnight. So $115 a fortnight. And then the vet and the accessories. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a pet sinking fund, and that is going to cover her vet bills and her accessories. We will work that amount out in a minute, but what I'm going to base it on is what people would normally pay for pet insurance. I'm going to start there and then see how that goes with her through the year. Birthdays, Christmas and Easter, we're going to do as an events sinking fund. The gardener. Now, I think with the gardener, because it's not a regular payment, like she just does it on and off, so she does have quite a big garden. And she said that she doesn't actually need lawns mowed or anything like that. It's more weeding, and she has a natural kind of garden, like an Australian native garden. So she gets plants put in every now and then and things like that. So anything like that she gets done irregularly, but it is an expense for her. So I'm going to do that as a sinking fund, as well as the repairs and maintenance. But I'm not going to do it as a repairs and maintenance. I'm going to do this as an emergency fund because she doesn't have an emergency fund. So I think if we start her off with a $1,000 emergency fund, that can kind of go towards that, and then she can start adding to that, and she can choose whether to turn that into a extra maintenance fund, so she has her emergency fund and her maintenance fund, or if she just uses that emergency fund as her as her repairs and maintenance and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to leave that as a sinking, no, I'm going to do that as a savings challenge actually, to get her started. And I think that's it. Yes, okay, so let's start by adding all of this stuff onto my budget breakdown sheet. All right, so we're going to grab this. Now, in the income section, I'm going to work out, because we're going to do this fortnightly, so I want you to see what this is going to look like fortnightly. So let's go $29,874 divided by 26. So her income, which I'm going to write here, is her pension. she's going to get $1,149 a fortnight, and that's all she's going to get. So if she gets any other income, she can write that in here and use that. So for her bills, we're going to do all of these ones. So we've got, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them together. So I'm going to do utilities. All right, so let's work out the utilities. So I'm going to include the rates, so 77, plus the electricity, 77, plus the gas, plus the water, emergency services levy, what else? That's going to be it. So $229.30. So we're going to do $230. That's what she's going to put away every fortnight for the utilities. Now let's go on to, so we've done that. Let's go on to insurance. So her insurance is going to cover both her home and contents and her car insurance. So for that, she needs to put away $60. And then we're going to go into car. I'm just going to do car bills, and that is going to be her rego and her RAA. So that is $28. So let's go $30 because you know I hate using coins. We want her to stuff. It's fine. I just like to, you can do it as you wish, but I personally like to go to the next denomination. I think that's the word. All right. Then we've got her phone and Wi-Fi. So phone and Wi-Fi, which is going to be 35 plus 8, so 43. So I'm going to go 45. And then I'm going to do subscriptions, and her subscriptions is going to include her Spotify, her Who Gives a Crap, toilet paper, and I think that's probably it for her subscriptions. Yes, so subscriptions, we're doing those two. So she's got 20, 14, 20, 21. So let's just do 25, just so she's all good. And then she's got the ambulance cover, which says $2.30. We're going to go $5 a week. So Ambo. And then she's got her chemist, which is $35. Right, I think that covers everything. Is that everything? So we've got rates, electricity, gas, water, services levy, insurances, rego, REA, phone, Wi-Fi, Spotify, Ambo, subscription, and chemist. So that's everything. So her bills in total come to $230 plus 60 plus 30 plus 45 plus 25 plus 5 plus 35. So she's got $430 a fortnight going towards her bills. Right, so we know that there is no chance in hell that we can change any of that. Unless the only way we could change that is if she found a cheaper alternative to some of them. She could cancel some subscriptions if she needed to, but we'll see how she goes with this. But they're really important. The next really important is the expenses. So we're going to do that next. That is our weekly expenses. So she's obviously got food, which is $200. Oh, hang on. I'll just write this down over here, I think. All right, so food is $200. Then we have petrol, which we're putting in 20. She's also got spending, which we're not sure about what we're going to do that yet. Tai Chi physio. So Tai Chi physio and pet food. So they are her weekly expenses now. So spending, we don't know. Tai Chi is going to be 30 and physio is going to be 50 and pet food is 115. Now I just want to double check her petrol because she did say 400 a year divided by 26. So 15 and I've put it up to 20. So yes, that should be okay. Oh my gosh, the delivery man is here. I need to go and answer the door. I will be back. Well, it wasn't a parcel for me, so I'm a little bit boohoo. I love it when the delivery man comes and delivers me parcels, but not today, not for me, it's for my husband. So let's have a look. So we were doing this. So every fortnight she's going to need for weekly expenses 200 plus 20 plus 30 plus 50 plus 115. So $415. All right, so now we've done all that, we're going to write down all of the sinking funds. Actually, no, let's write down the savings first. So for savings, we want to have an emergency fund. So I'm going to write that first. And then I know she wants to have some sort of savings, but she doesn't know how much she wants to have or anything like that. So I'm just going to write down just savings. And I think that's all she's going to need for the minute. She does have some savings, but she just wants to build up on that. So that's fine. It's really good that she's already got savings to start with. Now, sinking funds, that's pretty much everything else. So we're going to do gardening. And this is for the actual gardener. Then we're going to do events. Then she's got her pets, so a pet fund, medical fund. Then we've got her hairdresser. Then we've got clothing. And then we've got podiatry. And then hobbies, which is going to be her gardening and her art. And then I did suggest beauty self-care. So I'm just going to write that down the bottom here. So it's a little bit separate. And if she doesn't need it, that's fine. We'll just put it to something else. Okay, so now that we've written those all down, I think we've got pretty much everything, which is good. Let's see what we've got left to work with. So she's got $1,149. We need to minus the bills, so that's $430. And then we need to minus the expenses, which is $415. So she's got $304 a fortnight to play with. We can't really change anything in her expenses. Like she needs food, she needs petrol. Her Tai Chi and her physio, she really requires them. And then obviously pet food. So we can't change anything in there. We could change the bills if we really wanted to, but we're not going to because I think that's fairly okay. She hasn't got anything that's outrageous. Obviously, if you had debt to pay off, I would be doing your debt as a bill because you want to get that paid off so fast. So either a bill or you could put it in your savings as well, but you want to get that paid off. Luckily here, we don't have any debt. Sorry, 304. Luckily with her, we don't have any debt to work with. When I had my debt, I basically got my tax return for the year that I was in debt, and I used a chunk of that to pay off my debt so that I could start fresh, and I started from absolute scratch. So you could do any bonus payments you could just put onto your debt. You could do it as a bill and pretend and just put as much of that in as you could. But either way, you'd want to write it down, have it there, all of your debt. Like even if it's like, I don't know, like a late fee or anything, just anything that you owe, get that paid off first, because that's really, really important, because you cannot move forward with all of that and then accumulating more and more and more. If you have afterpay payments, let's get rid of them. If you have zip pay payments, like get rid of them. Just, it's all debt, so let's just get rid of the debt. Okay, so we've got these. Now we've got $304 to work with, so it's kind of up to her how she's going to do this, because depending on how much she wants to put in to each thing, like I don't know if she would she prefer to put more into clothes than into hobbies? Would she prefer to do more hobbies than clothes? Is her gardening as important as her medical fund? Like, it's all personal preference, but I'm just going to work it out really simply for what I would do, and then she can jig it around when she gets it. So emergency fund and savings. I would probably recommend emergency fund. I'd probably go that first before I even started looking at this other savings. So if you have, let's say we wanted to have $1,000 in an emergency fund, let's divide that by 26. So that's $38. So let's just go $40. Let's just do it. Let's not worry about this. This can come later. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sinking funds. And what did we have? We have 304 minus 40. So we have $264 to play with our sinking funds. So I would probably go, the pet one is a big one. So if we go, say, this is going to be a bit tricky, isn't it? Only because I don't know what's more important to her. But if it was me, I would probably be going $20 into, I swear I wrote notes down. Where did I put them? Okay, so I would probably be going $20 in the pet fund. Hang on, what did I? So minus 20. I'd be going we've also got this spending one, so let's go 20 in the spending one, because that's not too bad. Let's go 10 in the clothing, 10 in, let's work out the podiatry, because podiatry is not, it's not weekly and it's not a bill, so I've kind of put it in a sinking fund instead. So let's work out the podiatry. So the podiatry is, I think she said $30 every 8 weeks. So to work that out, okay, so that's kind of $15 a month. Is that right? Yeah. So $15 a month, and she's doing it fortnightly. So $7.50. But we know I don't like that, so we're going to go $10 in podiatry. That sounds fair to me. And also her hair, she said that that was $60 every 12 weeks. So that's $20 a month. So $10 will be fine for that as well. Okay, let's see what we've got left now. So 1149 minus 430 minus 417 minus, Oh, hang on. That was wrong. 1149 minus 430 minus 415 minus that 20 that I just added minus the 40 in savings, and then we're going to minus the 20 and then 10, 20, 30. So we've got $195 left. So I think we should be going into this medical fund maybe $30, because that's quite important. This pet one, I think I'm going to build this one up. I think we're going to go 30 as well, I think. So minus 30 and then minus the 10 that I just added. So 154. So we can go gardening. Let's go 20 in gardening, and let's go 50 into events, because she does have a lot of grandchildren, which means that there is birthdays, there is Easter, and I know she likes splurging on them. So I'm going to keep that at $50 a fortnight. And then let's go hobbies. Let's go 30 in hobbies. So that leaves me with $54. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put 20 into personal, and I'm going to make her spending come up to $50. Which leaves $4, which we can just add to anything. So let's just add it into the savings for now. Because we want it to all equal 0 at the end, because that is what a zero-based budget is. So I hope, really hope that this absolutely makes sense. Because like I always say, I am shocking at explaining things, but this is how I would work out a person's budget. So let's run through it one more time. So she has given me a list of all of her expenses, everything she can think of that she possibly pays for. I have then worked out her annual income. She gets paid every fortnight, so I've worked it out on a fortnightly basis. If you get paid irregularly or you don't have a regular income, then you're just going to have to do this every time you get paid and just make your money work for you by doing something. So give every dollar a job to do. I have now sat down and worked out what jobs her money needs to do, and then I've written it down. So every fortnight she is going to put away $430 into her bills. Now she's got $719 left, so she's going to put $44 into her savings. Now she's got $675 left. She's going to put $415 of that into expenses. So she now has $260. So this here should equal $260. Let's have a look. So 20 plus 50 plus 30 plus 30 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 30 plus 20. 210. Is that what I said? I bet you it's not. 430 plus 44 plus 415 plus 210. No. We still have money left, guys. How did that work? Oh, because of that. That's why. Plus 30 plus 50 plus 115 equals 465. That's why. There we go. All right, so now let's put that down there so I don't forget that either. So 1149 minus 430 minus 44 minus 465 minus 210 equals 0. So my total income is 1,149 and my total expenses is 1,149. So my income equals 0, and that is what we want. So every single dollar of her income has gone to something, which is what we need. So that is how I work it out. That's how I work out your average everyday budget. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. I know it's a lot of information and some of it might not make any sense to you. So please feel free to ask me down below. If someone had debt, for instance, it would be a lot different. It's so personal to you. Like, it's your budget. You've got to make it work for you. I obviously don't have pets, so I don't pay for pets. I don't have any debt. I don't have home and contents insurance. Like, everything is so different depending on you. So make sure that your budget works for you. That is my biggest advice to all of you. And please, please, please do not ever compare yourself to somebody else, because some people, they started with savings. Some people didn't start with anything. Some people have worked from scratch. Some people have been given money to start with. Some people work 45 hours a week. Some of you are single income people with Centrelink benefits, and everything is different. So please don't compare yourself to others, especially on social media, because social media, it drives me crazy. It is not real. You're only seeing a small snippet of somebody's life, and just because it looks great in the picture does not mean that it is great in real life. Just because they look like they have tons of money and can afford everything doesn't mean that they actually can. They could be in crazy amounts of debt. I personally know someone that gave the opinion that their business was really successful and they were doing really well and they could have all these things, and they bought the fancy new car and all of that jazz. But it did turn out that they were in a crap load of debt. They had to sell that car. They had to do a whole bunch of things to sort that out. And now they're starting from scratch again. So just because they've got the fancy car and the fancy social media does not mean that they are loaded, and they don't have their own problems. So please, please remember that when you are looking at all of these cash budgeters. I try and be as real as possible for you guys as I can. I haven't been cash stuffing the last couple of weeks because, let's face it, I didn't get any income. Boss Girl Budgets did not do well. This week was fine, but the week before, I only made, I think it was $45. So it wasn't a great week for me. And there was no point me cash stuffing because I literally just had food money and bill money. We didn't put petrol in the car that week. We didn't go out for coffees. We couldn't do anything. It was literally like, that's it. That's all we could do. So now the income is starting to come back in again. So hopefully I'll be able to do a cash stuffing video for you guys next week. It will still be small, but it will be something. And yeah, so that's all I have for you today. I hope this helps to just get the gist of doing your budget. These sheets here, they are available in my Etsy store. If you're interested, they do help me to budget. They come in a pack that should last you all year. If you're getting paid fortnightly, if you're getting paid weekly, you might have to get 2 bundles of the sets. But fortnightly, you'll be fine. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I didn't bore you. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I love having you here. And I will see you all as soon as possible. Bye guys.